Okay. Welcome, students. Today we are going to draw a raccoon. Here's how to do it. The first thing you do is you make an oval. So you take your pencil like this, draw light. Very simple oval. You have space at the top of the paper, you have space at the bottom of the paper. Okay, your raccoon is going to be dressed in winter attire. Okay, so we'll have a sweater and you can add a hat if you want to. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our pencil and we're going to go inside of the oval and we're just going to draw two curved lines that come in like this. Okay, alright, the nose is very simple. We're going to go around and make that triangle. Okay, you're going to go in and make a curve here and a curve here. Okay, alright, so go from the top, put a curve here and a curve here. Come inward on both sides. Okay. Now we're going to start the eyes. The eyes are very simple. You're going to go in, make a triangular shape like that. Then you're going to go in with the circle. Okay, we're going to use our pencil to color in that oval. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now the raccoon is very symmetrical. Whatever you do on one side, you're going to do to the other, almost like a person's face. We're going to go to the mouth part, and we're going to go past this line and make a very simple curved line like this. Okay. For the ears, we're going to make triangles the same shape you made here or here. You're going to do it for both ears. Gonna go in at the top, come back down like so. Same thing on the inside. Gonna go on the other side and do the same thing. Okay. Now for the scarf, you're gonna simply make a curve. It kind of looks like a C, but it's not. Then you're gonna wrap it around like this. Okay, now the next layer is gonna be a little bit longer. It looks like a stack of donuts, but it's not. We want the scarf to look like it's wrapped around the raccoon's neck. Okay, and now we're going to go on the outside right here and we're going to put two rectangles. For the curved part, we're starting in the center of the two donuts that are cake layers that are stacked on top of each other. We're drawing a rectangle and then we're going to go out and draw another rectangle, just like that. So at the end of the scarf, we're just going to put some very simple number 1 lines. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now for the sweater, we're going underneath the scarf. You're just going to start right here where the rectangle meets the curved line and you're going to extend it out like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Alright, and if you want to add arms, you can by simply adding a straight line here and here. You don't have to do that. You can. That is an option. Now here's where we add the details to make your raccoon look a little bit more realistic. Okay, you're going to take your gray marker. and then you're going to add tiny little ones. So when you take your gray marker, all you're doing is you're going on the inside and you're drawing a number 1. You're going to do it on the outside of the triangle, just like this, very, very close together. Okay, and then you're going to go on the inside and draw those ones very, very, very close together. They all have to go in the same direction. Just like when we made the cow's grass with the green paint. You leave a little bit of white space, but not too much. Okay, and that's going to give your raccoon a little bit of texture. Now when we go to the top half of the raccoon, the entire top half above the eyebrows are going to be gray. And you're going to take that same gray marker and you're going to simply draw very small gray lines all the way across. This gives it more of a realistic texture. And we're going to talk about the artist that has a series of woodland creatures that look exactly like this. So all the animals that she draws are woodland creatures like deer and raccoons and all those animals that you will find in the woods, and they all have on sweaters and hats and clothes just like a person would. So you're going to take this same texture. This is how you create texture. It's implied texture. It looks like fur or a stuffed animal, the tiny hairs on a stuffed animal, and you just go all the way across with this. It's very simple. Leave a little bit of white space, but not too much. And if you see too much spaces or between your number 1s, go back in and fill them. You take your time with this. You don't go too fast. And remember, whatever you don't finish, you will finish the next time you come to art class. And you just keep going with all the number 1s. Go around that triangle. Make sure the outside number 1s stick out so everything looks nice and furry. Alright. And you keep going all the way down to the nose, and that's where the gray stops. Look at how furry that looks, how textured and detailed that is. Just a little bit of a white space. And you just keep going until you reach the nose, and that's where all the gray stops, right there. And if you see any white spaces where the gap is too big, just go ahead and fill those out. Alright, here we go. Now at the top of the raccoon is nice and gray. You're going to leave the eyebrows white. We're not going to touch these. We're going to leave that alone. We're going to move on to black. And the inside of the eyeballs, you're going to shade in black. Okay, you're going to go around and go ahead and outline the eyes. Okay, and then this is where the black begins. So you start right here where the eyebrows are, And you just take your black marker and you go in just like you did the gray. Make sure all of the little lines on the outside of the raccoon are sticking out. Leave a little space and stick it out. Go around that mouth. Do the same thing on the other side. Make sure those number ones are in line just like you go in the hallway. Side by side, one behind the other, nice and straight. And no gaps that are too wide. Okay? Alright. And you go in these white spaces using the same pattern. All the number ones have to go right next to each other. And then you start again. Don't go too fast. Take your time. Not too many white spaces, not too many gaps in the line. Whatever direction you go in, continue to go in that same direction. We call this repetition. And when we have repetition in our artwork, it gives it a rhythm. You can sing a little song with the 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. It's continuous. And you just keep going. Go around those eyes. Okay, now once we have that complete, we're going to go to the nose and we're going to take our Sharpie, outline that nose and shade it in. Okay, and if your Sharpie is a little bit faded like mine is, that's okay because that gives it a good, nice little blend. Okay, from light to dark. You're going to go underneath the nose and do the same thing, only here where the curve is, not this part, because some parts of the raccoon are white, so we have to leave some parts alone. So we're only going to go right here where the curve is, where the mouth part is. And we're going to draw those ones all the way across. Okay. And now we're going to do the same thing we did here, over here. Okay. Just create those ones in the horizontal line going all the way across. And then repeat. And if you see a little space or gaps in between, fill them. Okay. Go in. If you see anything or there's too many wide gaps, you just go ahead and fill them. Okay, now this is all that we need. You can go in with gray or black, make a choice, and you can just either draw those lines in right above the top part, leaving this whole space white, or you can just draw the straight line across. Just outline that one little area. You do not need to outline the whole entire eyebrow. Just draw those lines on top of the top part of the eyebrow. And this is the style that we want. It has texture. It has a variation between gray, white, and black. And that's what we want, okay? So once the face is done, that's where we're going to stop for the day, okay? And we're going to move on to this part a little later. So let me show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, so the next step is to go ahead and add those textures and colors into the sweater. So there will be no coloring. It's all lines. And when you put your lines and your shapes, like a triangle, together, you'll create a wonderful design like plaid and wool, okay? And in the background, we'll add the forest, okay? So today, we just draw the face.